I'm on my way over to see a potential project with an investor from down south. He's looking to put the money in for the deal. We're going to convert it into 32 studio units. It's actually classed as a HMO, but I think that does it a disservice, to be honest. It's more independent living, co-living as they like to call it nowadays. They've got communal kitchens and communal lounges and stuff like that, but their units that they're living are over 22 square meters, so they're fairly big. It's not like the days 10 years ago whereby you could get away with like a 10 to 12 square meter room and they'd rent. Nowadays, and rightly so in my opinion, the quality's gone up. We like to try and lead the way locally with that as well. The investor's just seen what we're doing and he wants to get stuck in, so he'll probably put the cash in, the down payment. We'll get a bridging and development loan to do the work. We're trying to negotiate the price to around 300 grand. The development's going to be about 1.1 million. And we'd expect a GDV of around 2 million on that. So maybe a bit more, I think, 2.1, 2.2. But if you say 2 million to be conservative. So if we acquire the thing for 300 grand, we'd probably need around 200 to get into the deal, really. That's down payment and the first tranche of the development money. The bridging and development funds, if you work around 1% a month on the debt, plus a few fees, so I generally work around 15% all in per annum. And this development would take probably 14 to 16 months once we got in there. But it's already got planning permission, which is good. Saves us a headache. And I know the guy who's selling it. They're a well-known company. They're a national company, but they're looking to offload this. It's above the retail units in the town centre. I have asked if they'll sell the commercial downstairs, to which they don't want to do that, which is fair enough, and I understand they've got some good tenants down there. So they're just selling the uppers. They're going to create a 999-year leasehold, and we'll acquire that. So he wanted originally 600 grand for it. At the moment, we're there or thereabouts 350, but we're trying to get it down to 300. It's grade 2 listed, and it's in a conservation area as well, so we need to be careful with the development work. They're quite tight on it, making sure that everything is exactly as what was proposed in the drawings. And of course, with these type of buildings as well, we don't want to... I like doing these grade 2 listed things because I have a big thing about history and heritage and all that type of stuff. It's good for the local area to turn these beautiful buildings back into good use. But nowadays, because the market is, the office market has just been more or less obliterated. It was on the way down before COVID and all that mess. It was on the way down before then, but since then there's been loads of people, probably, in my opinion, over 50% of people, from what I can see, haven't gone back to the office. They're working from home, or they're just going once or twice a week or something. Went to the local council building, and it was a beautiful building, fairly new, must have only been less than 10 years old, and it was empty. Cafe was shut, everything, because everybody's working from home. So all these grade 2 listed buildings that were originally used for offices no longer needed, and they need to be converted into something more useful, which, because of the demand, a lot of investors are simply turning them into resi stock. But a lot of the owners of these type of properties, they need to, in my opinion, come to the real expectation of what those buildings are worth, because you can't do anything with them really unless you're converting them. And it's a lot of a headache for developers because of what the hurdles that the councils, the planners, the heritage people, and where we are here, flood risk assessments and health impact assessments, which is a fairly new one. So you have to overcome all these hurdles, but I like doing them because of the heritage and history to them all. So I'm going over there to meet the investor, all being well. hopefully get this deal wrapped up by the end of the week. As you can probably tell, I'm like foot to the pedal kind of guy. Even if there's recessions going on and whatever's happening in the world, I just think you just, keep the foot on the gas. I need people around me to be able to sort of rein me in, because I'm not a detail orientated guy. I don't need to sit there looking at spreadsheets and tight numbers and everything. I have other people look at that for me, because I like to just go out there, think big picture, get the deals wrapped up, and then I'll raise the capital, work with the investors. Whereas other people are the more nitty gritty into the detail and say, no, we need to be careful here, or yes, we can pull the trigger there. I've said this before, you just need to know who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and work towards those strengths. Okay, so this is the top floor. See the street there, it's the high street. This is the grade 2 listed bit. So we have got planning put through, it's already been done. Our guys did the drawings, 32 units. There's pigeons in here, so they might. It's a fairly straight layout, to be honest. It's a bread and butter for our guys. It cost a lot of money. We're looking at 1.1 mil for 32 units in here. There's the Lloyd's Bank. You noticed all the banks have good real estate. Not stupid. Some of the ancient electrics in there. That's the rear. This has actually got planning to go up here, but we probably won't do it because it's not cost effective. So there's the retail park. We do own a couple of buildings. You can't see them over the back of there as well. The old council building, this. So you've got, this is the first floor. It's a bit boring to look at, to be honest, but what it could be made into is pretty special. This used to be the old council offices in the town centre. It's got to be at least 15-20 years by the look of it though. But it's pleasantly, dry and built very well. This is the listed section now, so that wall there, anything past here is listed. Down to the bottom there, and the other side of that wall there is not listed. There's an exit there, fire escape, into where they've got planning to go up. So that's all there is to see. And the builders will come in here. We expect 12 to 14 months on this one, probably, maybe a bit more, because the layout's not too difficult for them to turn this thing around. So I'll show the outside now. Okay, so that's the building there, and that one there as well. So I haven't actually got the square foot in front of me, but that's a big old place. As I say, 32 units, and there is a third floor there, which I think you might have to go through the where we thought there was a fire escape. That's probably going to be a staircase. So I have to have a look at the drawings again. Probably built early 70s. This bit ugly. This built probably 100 years ago, something like that. You can see the magnificence of that bit, and that bit being boring and bland. Signs of the times. So that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't realise how big it was. I didn't think it was the two buildings there. I thought it was just the one. I mean, it's quite deceiving. when you first go, because it seems like it's just the nice looking building, but it's the nice looking building and the one built in the 70s, which is a bit of a ugly duckling. So I was just confirmed on the plans that it is just the one half of it that we need to adhere to the heritage stuff, and it is. I'm surprised they actually allowed 32 up to 38 HMO units in there. The remaining 6 need an extension, which we probably won't do. But the investor that's looking to come on board, I've sent him the video because he couldn't make it, unfortunately. But ideally, he'd put the initial capital in. If you can only put in half the purchase price, that'll be fine. We can borrow the rest from the bank, and the development lender will lend us at least 50% of purchase and 100% of development there. So we'll probably be borrowing about 1.4, 1.5 million. That'll probably be including interest that is on the acquisition and the development, with the GDV of around minimum 2 million, probably more like 2.2 million once it's done. So if you're in for 1.5, you've got a 2.2 million GDV. There's a nice, I don't know, what is it, 25-30% margin there, which is what we're looking for. And then at the back end, we'll either refinance that back out, and we'll hope the commercial rates have come down a little, which they should have done in 12 to 14 months' time. Or we could sell it, you could put a supported living type provider in there, and they'd put a 5-year contract on that, no problem, maybe even more, because of where it is, what it is, and the relationships we've got. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, for the investors that we work with and us, and also building the relationships in the town. We've got a good relationship now with the local council and the local planners. We're looking to keep building on that and create something that the town can be proud of. There's a lot of empty buildings that we're looking to buy there, and completed on some already. And if we could get through all the bureaucracy, we could get that turnaround 12 to 18 months, 2 years maximum on what we've got going on there. We could create another 60 residential units, which is obviously very, it's useful for the town. They keep talking about affordable housing and whatever, and the demand's massive. Well, they need to help us to help them. So hopefully we'll be able to turn that town into something like it used to be, people can be proud of.